Adeline, can you tell me what makes you most excited about creating?
What makes me more exciting is there is no limit. You know, when I start to create, I create my own boundaries, my own limit, and there is no restriction except the one that I am creating for myself. It's kind of a land of freedom.
And can you tell me about the series that you're creating right now?
So the current series is about beds. So I like to represent absence, and the current series I'm asking different people to take a picture of their bed the morning after, or to go to their place and to paint their bed the morning after, to show their personality to an object, because bed is a very intimate object. It's an object, but it's a very intimate one. And through the fabric, you can see the movement of what happened during the night. If someone took the duvet, someone pushed the person from the bed, you know, or so maybe someone has a cold feet and the other person is escaping. You have all this kind of moments that are happening while you are sleeping. And I like this fact that when you sleep, it's where you let yourself go. So it's very like to represent a time when you can be vulnerable, you let yourself go, and to show a bit the footprint of that moment.
That's very interesting. And your previous series, I thought it was fascinating too, about loss and grief. Where did that come from?
So it came from personal experience and people experience as well. So I could see that when you live a time when you are grieving, it's kind of time that it's very hard to express with words. And most of the time when I'm painting is to express something that I cannot formulate with words, whatever language you're speaking. And I wanted to represent that time. I did the metaphor of the phantom limb. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was representing house when you have a central piece that are left, like a bedroom without a bed, dining room with no table, just to show a metaphor of the absence, but in a kind of a nice way, and to show that it's because when you are grieving, they say, "Oh, keep going," or "It's fine," or you grieve for 3 days and you go back to work, and that's fine, keep going, and. So that's why I wanted to show that it's not something that you can absorb in one go. And with the metaphor of the room in the house, you can see that now you always picture your bedroom with a bed. Even if there is no bed, in your mind there is a bed. During the exhibition about grief, the name was See You Later. I had different person who talked to me, say, I had a grief, I lost my husband, I lost my mother, and when it happened, I couldn't talk about it, and I feel better to see an artwork about it, and I realized that there is this kind of social impact when you do an exhibition that I never expected to have.
Yeah, it was opening conversations.
Yes, so it's mostly for that I'm doing exhibition now.
I find the topic of grief, we are all affected by it at certain stages of our life, but it's hard to have conversations about it, or even knowing how to talk about it with strangers or with anybody, you know, it seems very private.
Yes, because we have this culture to be happy, to do not, to be positive. Sometimes you have a lot of toxic positivity, so you say, okay, come on, move on, just... And even if you move on externally, you don't show anything. If you dig a bit the surface, you can see that many people, I know certain people that think about their late husband every day, or they will never talk about it, but they have this in their mind, or they think about their mother maybe every 2 days, but they are still in pain. Yeah. But when you see it every day, they don't show it. It might be when they are more in a private time that is happening.
Okay, can you tell me, when you're creating, when you're painting, what's going on through your head, what's going on through your body? How does it feel to create, to paint?
In general, I don't pay attention to what is happening because I feel good. And I realize that when you feel good, you don't care about how you feel because you take it for granted. Yeah. So you are living the present, so you feel good and you just do what you want to do. And there is no very, you don't ask any question. You are more in the now, and you let it flow.
Some people who are listening to this or watching this on YouTube now would consider themselves not creative because perhaps they don't know how to draw, or they were told early in their childhood, you know, you're not a very good artist. Just leave it. Your sister is creative, or your brother, or your cousin. But like we've talked earlier before we started filming, there's a lot to say about using creativity, that kind of creative expression to deal with what's inside. What would you say to people who believe that they're not creative? Where would they start?
First, it is wrong. Everybody is creative because we are a creation. So to me, it's in our core. Yeah. We have been created by other people. So to me, we are all creative. We are a creation. So by instance, a human being is creative. Then if it's in the sense of being a musician, a visual artist, or even cooking or anything, you have always this creativity. Because when we are a child, we draw, we sing, we dance, we do different things. We don't care about people's opinion. And then when we grow, we say, oh my God, people are going to judge me. I look ridiculous. My advice would be to do something for yourself and do not care too much about people's opinion, because you will always disappoint someone anyways.
That's very good. Thank you. Can you tell me more about your relationship with the idea of an artist, or the idea of a struggling, starving artist? I know there's a lot of people out there that I talk to, other creatives, that sometimes because of that image that you need to be somehow a martyr or struggling or under influence to create a good art, it stops many people at certain stages of their creative paths to embrace it. And they almost try to put it away. Have you felt that along your journey?
Completely. I felt a sense of shame to be creative, because I knew that as soon as I will start to say I'm a painter, people might relate to the most famous painter that they know. Like they might have this vision of Van Gogh, like I should be alcoholic, depressed, starving, dying in misery, cutting my hair, jumping from the cliff, you know. So in general, yes, as soon as you say you're a painter, people are putting you in a box. Mm-hmm. And in general, it's a very dark box. Yeah. It's a black box when people see that you are a lost soul. And it's that way in general I tend, if it's not in the art world, when I meet people, I tend to wait a couple of weeks, a month, that they know me well before to say, hey, by the way, I'm a painter, because I'm always has this fear that they will have this bias to see me like someone who is completely lost. I'm completely down. And to me, when I paint, I need to feel good. Otherwise, I'm not creative. When I feel down, I don't do anything. I stay in bed and watch TV. It's more. So
how did it influence your career and your choices in life? Do you think it pushed you into certain directions of choosing your career paths, or how did it impact that kind of idea of not wanting to be seen?
I believe it slowed down my career path, because maybe when I was in my 20s and early 30s, I was feeling uncomfortable with people's opinion. Now I start to not care, thankfully. Yeah. So I assume more to be an artist. But before I was, I shouldn't do it, or I should paint, but don't post anything, or don't show it, or don't tell anyone. It was like having a very guilty pleasure, while it is not the case. Yes. And so it took me a while, but since I assume it, I feel better about it. I know some people might judge me as someone who is depressed, starving, or it happened sometimes. People were asking me if they could pay the restaurant bill because they thought I couldn't afford it, as I'm an artist. Right. Because they were okay. You are struggling probably, but they don't know what I'm doing in life. So just probably what happened. It's blocked me for a certain amount of time. And now that I am assuming it, once I got the recognition from Visual Artist Ireland, I was okay. It is fine.
Can you tell me if you have any thoughts on your creativity and painting? Would you hope to do it as a full-time job and rely on it as your main source of income?
I did try, and then to be a full-time artist, but I realized it's not for me. And one thing I want to paint. I don't want to sell. I'm not into and I think when you are a full-time artist, you start to be a marketing agent, a salesperson, event organizer, manager, and then sometimes you are painting, which is you don't have that much time anymore to paint, and you go far away from your main intention. So to me, I prefer to be painting when I want and not being tied to a financial needs every time I'm painting, because you start to censor yourself. You start to say, I need to paint nice landscape because many people for Christmas are going to buy Irish landscape, or pets painting because many people like to have a portrait of their pets. Yeah. So I believe that if I start to be a commercial painter, I'm going to paint what people want to buy and not what I want to do. So my creativity will be dead. Mm-hmm. And so that's why to me it's important to keep your creativity away from the commercial aspect. Even if I sell my painting, it's always or a gallery or an art organization who is managing the sale. So I tend to avoid to do direct sales for that purpose, just to maintain my creativity and my practice away from all the commercial needs that are responding to a different logic. And art, when you create an artwork, you do it for love. Yeah. And if you do it for money, you won't get the same impact or the same result. Mm-hmm. And I think it's like everything. If you do something just for money, it's a bit dry, it's a bit boring, and you don't get any pleasure anymore. And if you don't have pleasure in what you are doing, people can see it, they can notice it, and you lose. This is how you are losing the value of the artwork as well. I feel that it's all my frustration that I kept in my mind, and I keep repeating myself to everyone. Yeah. Now you're going to put it on YouTube. Next time I'm meeting someone, I just send your YouTube link.
Watch it. And just put it on your website. Yeah.